Good evening, darlings. Gosh, there are actually people here. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you so much for joining me. And these girls, Dioe Santapas to each and every one of you. Now, don't worry, darlings. I'm only popping in. Oh, God, that scared the fucking life out of me then. I wondered what the hell it was. Oh dear, bit rushed getting in. Forgot to turn the old iPad down, didn't I? What an absolute twat. Um, yeah, don't worry. It's only going to be half an hour. I just wanted to mark Jimmy's birthday and of course Saint David's Day, which for me is kind of probably like New Year's Eve is for a lot of you guys. For me, it marks the beginning. It marks the beginning of the year, and it's when things can or should really kick off. Didn't go according to plan today. I had all sorts of plans for today to properly mark St. David's Day. And I woke up, opened my eyes, and it was snowing very heavily. The roads have been closed here in the Peak District. So not a doing day, as it were, and certainly not the day I had planned. And in many ways, not the first day of spring. Although interestingly, I went through Facebook memories, and I think more often than not, or certainly close on 50% of the time, it has snowed here at Windy Bum on St. David's Day. So, so in a way, cheers, darlings. In a way, there's nothing new under the sun. But there we are. Who's here? I wonder. Oh, Jimmy Quinn. Hello to you. Many happy returns of the day. And Jimmy wishes everybody happy St. David's Day. Barry is here, that guy from SETI Alpha 5. These girl, dearie, happy spotty evening, or good evening, Barry. Oh, Simone is here. Um, Barry Scrotter, good evening, Boaty, and how are you tonight? I'm all right, I'm a bit knackered. It's been a hell of a night at work. I'm in a foul mood, to be honest. Oh dear. And reading ahead, I see that Skick is here, and Skick, you get a good mention in today's daily diary. You do, because I think you're right. Today I got or tonight, stinking night at work, and tonight I got the realization that Skick is right. What I should be doing is not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, not doing anything daft, but I should be concentrating on and working towards things outside of the restaurant. I should be putting my efforts into doing my own thing and trying to develop that. So, this being St. David's Day and the first day of my Welsh year, that is my, well, we won't call it a resolution, but that is my hope, aim, something like that. That's what I want to do with this year. I want to I don't want to waft through another winter waiting for another spring on. I would like to put what little efforts and energy I've got left before I shuffle off this mortal coil and spend this spend this year ahead trying to make some things happen for me and for us and all sorts of things. So there we are. Anyway, Barry Scrotter says, good evening, Boaty, and how are you tonight? Have you ever heard of Maria Reed? I wonder. It doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell. I'm lousy with names. So Bad Books is here. Good evening, all. Oh, and Barry's exciting. His headlining material is coming in the morning. Whoa. Skick is here, as I said. Good evening, Skick. Thank you for being here. Andrew Buttygig is here. A very good evening, Boaty, and everyone in the chat. And I named one of my kittens Gizmo. And also happy St. David's Day. Thank you, and the same to you. Yeah, a very happy St. David's Day to all of you. Snow? No way. Yeah, absolutely. I woke up to pretty much a full-on blizzard. And then it kind of eventually turned to hail and then just to rain. But yeah, The higher roads around the peak have been closed. The Snake Pass was closed, I think. The Cat and Fiddle was definitely closed. Yeah, not good. Nothing in Brumland, says Barry. Yeah, I think it was quite isolated from what I heard on the old Weather Fivecast. I think Peak District was heavily mentioned for snow, parts of Scotland, etc., etc. Oh, have you not noticed my logo change, Boaty? Well, I've noticed it now, Simone. I've certainly noticed it now. It's very small on my iPad, so I can't get a proper look at it. John Stoodley is amongst us. Hey, chat and hey, Boaty. The lovely Sophie is here. You're up late, Soph. You okay, my lovely? Oh, you're feeling a little bit better, Soph. That's good. Neil is here, aka the Gibbinator, and he says, "Hello there, you massive tosser. How are you today?" And also, hey, chat. Oh, Boaty, I posted you some Yankee Candle suggestions earlier. I got a quick glimpse of that. What was it? Burning Clutch. Yeah, yeah, that did make me giggle. Mark Passad is with us. Happy St. David's Day, Boaty. Thank you, and the very same to you. A foul mood, says Ivor Spotty Botty. It's no wonder you eat so much chicken. Foul, chicken, I'll get my coat. Don't get your coat, that was actually very good. Look up Maria Reid if you get 5 minutes, unless you just want me to tell you who she is. Yeah, go on, tell me who she is. Save me looking her up. Unless she's really attractive, in which case I'll look her up anyway, just to see a picture. When I was up the yard today, there were warnings all the way down the M6 saying snow warnings, had some localised hailstorms, but all was well. So it sounds as if there was, it sounds as if Mustard had company at the yard today, because Neil went up there after he had a recovery to Rochdale, and I'm sure I saw that that old Simon Smashing Pistons popped in as well. Gosh, busy day at the yard. Oh, now then, Sophie definitely gets her keys on Friday. Oh, that's really exciting. Well, what sort of place is it, Soph? What is it? Is it a flat? Is it, I mean, obviously you won't have a house, will you? But is it like just a bed sit, or is it an actual flat? Have you got an actual flat of your own? Let us know. Tell us all about it. How close is it to where you are now? Is it like part of a house, or is it in a block? Or I want to know all about it. It was raining here till 2 p.m, says Jimmy Quinn, and sunny in the afternoon. Ah, he was there, says Neil. Yeah, Simon was there. Had a good chat with him and Senior Mustard. Oh, gosh. Gosh, it was all happening in the yard then. Exciting stuff. Maria Reid is Charlotte Church's name before she was adopted by her stepdad. Oh, well, there you are. There you are. Oh, Barry. Karen got me a Dylan Thomas book. Which one? Which one? And Richard Burton's diary. Ah, well. Richard Burton wrote an excellent diary. Very open, very honest, and he wasn't shy in calling out other people when they were bullshitting as well, and very, very amusing in places. I remember well a couple of things when he went to school for his daughter's things, and when he was watching a play, and he took a flask of that was supposed to be a flask of tea. That he blew on to cool it down, except it was actually vodka and tonic. And when he did the parents' race and tried to cheat with another chap, and the other chap out cheated him, that was funny. Oh, it's a maisonette, Soph. Oh, I've forgotten what a maisonette is now. Or have I? Because I know that Simone, you live in a maisonette, don't you? And you told me what it was. And I think, now I think about it, isn't a maisonette a flat that is like a divided up house. It was originally one huge house, divided and has been divided up into self-contained flats. Isn't that what a maisonette is? So it's a maisonette 10 minutes down the road and on the lower floor. So is it just you, Soph? Is it like your own place? Like one bedroom, but kitchen, bathroom, everything. Is there a shared garden or a shared yard where you can peg your washing out? Have you been to look around it? Anything like that? Tell us all about it. Your first place is an amazing thing. There's a feature if we've got time. We have got time for this, haven't we? We've got another 20 minutes. Uh, what was the first place you lived in once you left home? That'll be a good one. And I'll tell you the first place I lived in. It was a static caravan on a pub car park with no running water and no electricity. Oh, and also, says Neil, we've booked a hotel in Rochdale on the Monday to have the day up the yard with you on Monday. Oh, what? So you booked it for the Monday night? Right. Okay. Ah. Oh, Monday night hotel job. Same one, the Premier Inn. Yes, there is a garden, says Sophie, but there is an old man who uses it as a scrapyard and uses it for his two dogs. Well, sod him. If it's a shared garden, then, throw your weight about a bit or throw Neil's weight about a bit and claim a bit of it. Collected stories from Dull and Thomas says Barry, and also Joe Calzaghe's book. No, Joe Calzaghe. Is there an argument for saying that he's the most successful British boxer of all time? Over to you on that one. So say someone lives up and someone lives down, and yes, there's a bedroom and a bathroom and a kitchen and a shared garden. Brilliant. We're getting into our first places that we lived. Jimmy Quinn's first place was a mobile home. Barry's first place was a little flat that he shared with Kung Fu Mistress. Ivor Spotty Botty went straight into a house. Tell us about the shooting thing, Boat. You said a few times you would, says Skick. Which shooting thing? Which one? Give me a clue. John says the first place I lived in was a hostel when I was 15. I got kicked out of my mum's home then. Oh dear. Mark says, Sophie, I hope your new place is a joy. Having your own gaff, whatever it's like, is really a step forward. I completely agree, and I join Mark in sending you every good wish, Soph, and I hope it's an absolute joy for you. And please do keep us up to date with what's going on. And it's going to be really, really exciting for you. Should be anyway. Right. Neil's first place was 5 Roper Walk, Wood Setton, whatever that is. A 2-bedroom flat, was absolutely beautiful on the country park. Unfortunately, had to move back in with the parents after a breakup with the old ex. Sean is here. Sean, I'm surprised to see you here, my friend. Partly because it's late, but partly because I know you've had the lurgy. How are you feeling, dear chap? How are you feeling? I hope it's not the lurgy that I had, which was horrendous. Hopefully yours is a more low grade or at least short term lurgy. But it's been snowing in Treherbert this evening for a few hours, says Sean, and been stuck in bed all week with the flu. That's a miserable thing. I did see your post saying you'd been struck down. What a rotten thing. Okay, here's an odd question for you, Sean. Now, anybody who's read Garrison Keillor, so Prairie Home Companion, Lake Woebegone Days, all of that. Anybody who's read Garrison Keillor will be familiar with the motto, there's no place like home when you're not feeling well. It's a very different experience not being well at home as compared to not being well when you're in a hotel room or staying at somebody else's house, for example. So, Sean, an odd question for you. This is like your first illness in your new home, isn't it? So, how has it been being ill there? Does it feel as if you're properly being ill in comfort in your own place? And is your beautiful little miner's cottage, has it been a source of warmth and succor while you're being poorly? And I really hope you feel better soon, mate. It's going to be great, says Soph, and no dirty. Okay, right, right. Uh, did any of you guys get this thing as well? No matter how mucky you were at home, how messy or untidy or whatever you were at home, when you get your first place, you want to treat it like a palace, don't you? Did everybody else get that as well? It can't just have been me. When you get your own place for the very first time, and you get that real pride, don't you? And you overnight you lose all of your bad habits. And if you're anything like me, you tell your parents off when they come round and don't treat the place as you want it to be treated. And of course, your parents, they get revenge, don't they? I mean, they put up with you for however long it was, 15 years, 16 years, 18 years, 21 years. And when you get your own place, especially if they come and stay the night, they can really get their own back, can't they? They can stay up too late. They can be noisy in the bedroom. They can leave their underpants all over the place. Oh, dear. Now we're, oh dear, I seem to have jumped a few. Gosh, where are we? Ah, right, yes. Oh, Skick says shooting at the car dealers. Oh God, again, you'd need to be more specific. Actually, at the dealership. Oh, actually, there were only a couple at the dealership. Somebody tried to shoot me through the window. Fortunately, they missed. But if you go to the dealership now, the bullet hole is still there. And the other time was when, oh, well, basically, I just had there was a slight misunderstanding, and I just ended up with a loaded gun and a cocked trigger being pulled to my head, being pressed to my head. That's quite a sobering moment. Yeah, gives you pause for thought, that does. That was the time I also had petrol poured over me and a light. I mean, it was all a complete misunderstanding. Fortunately, otherwise I wouldn't be here to tell you the tale. I can tell you that. I've got more interesting stories than that, Skip, but those would have to be told in person. I wouldn't dare put those actually on record on media. Ah. But yeah, Sophie is saying it's going to be great having her own place, and there's going to be no Neil's dirty underwear left around. Everywhere's going to be spotless. I lived, says Paddy Scrotter, in a privately rented flat. Reminder: this is the first place that you lived when you left home. As I say, mine was mine was a static caravan in a pub car park. The reason being that when I first left home, it was to run a pub, a very large pub. But as it happens, because the pub had been closed down by health and safety, and because of the size of the pub, there were two management couples put into it. There was a hugely experienced management couple called Les and Jan. You see, I can remember their names. And they were, well, at the time, I thought they were old. They weren't. They'd have been in their mid to late 40s. You know, I think they were kids now. And they were the hugely experienced management couple. And then there was me and Donna. And we were the young, thrusty up and comers who were, so between the four of us, we were supposed to turn it round double quick time. The problem was that the accommodation upstairs above the flat, Les and Jan had family and they kind of took up all of the accommodation. So the best they could do for me and Donna was to put a bloody static caravan on the car park. And as I say, there was no running water, there was no electricity, but remarkably, at the time, we didn't find it in the least inconvenient. It was just exciting. Neither Donna nor I had lived outside of home. Well, I mean, I did live outside of home because obviously when I was younger, I went around Europe when I was an athlete. So I was away from home all the time then, but that was a different way of being away from home. Depending on what I was doing, then I was either in I would either be in hotels or I would be in team accommodation, which was, you know, sometimes with in a family home with somebody connected to the team, or in actual team accommodation where there were staff. So it wasn't like having your own place. And this bloody caravan in the car park of Mad O'Rourke's Kipper House in Bradley Green, that was like our first time. And also, of course, you know, we were together, weren't we? So no, and we were young with hormones raging, darlings. So, of course, there's no sneaking around trying to be quiet because you're in your parents' house. There's no fooling about on the back seat of the car, sitting down some secluded country lane. We've got our own space and we can really go for it, can't we? So we thought it was fabulous. I mean, it would be hell on bloody earth for me now, but there you go. That's how times change. But that is the feature, the first place we lived when we left home. And Barry lived in a privately rented flat, 20 Quorn House, Browns Green, Friary Road, Handsworth. At 17, my dad's cousin worked for them. That's how I got the flat. I loved it for 12 months and then went off to Lichfield. My first place, says Mark Passat, was a flat in Peckham, London in 1988. Sorry. SE 154LL. It was a cheap place in 88, not anymore. Yeah, there's another feature, I suppose. Cities where we've lived. Which cities have you lived in, and what did you think of them? I lived in London, only the once. I lived in West Ealing and commuted to Birmingham on a daily basis with Chinese Madam Mark One. Yeah, I think I told you before. We took an apartment off a celebrity chef who got a cruise liner gig. I can't remember his name. Not one of the massive names, but he was on telly. He was one of the ready, steady cook lot, you know. Not Anthony Worrell Thompson, but somebody like him. Other cities, I lived in Kyiv, Ukraine, Chicago, Las Vegas, Paris, Brussels. That's probably about it for cities. Not really that fond of them. And if I had to pick a favourite, Birmingham, obviously, but that doesn't count. If I had to pick a favourite, it would have to be Paris. Definitely have to be Paris. Hello. Right, Sean. Not that warm. It would be better if there were curtains on the windows and doors to keep the heat in. What, have you not got doors? Oh, sorry, I misread. It would be better if there were curtains on the windows and the doors to keep the heat in. Roll on spring. Well, and that's easy for you to say. God above. Meteorologically, I think that's it, isn't it? Then it is indeed the first day of spring today, isn't it? And as I've been saying, then for me, St. David's Day is the first day of my Welsh year and the first day of spring. But you wouldn't bloody think so, looking outside. But it's early days, Sean, isn't it? Early days. I mean, come next winter, you'll be as snug as a bug in a rug. Partly because you will have had time to do all of the things that need doing, and partly because you should be, hopefully, he said, touching wood, a lot better placed financially if your numbers keep going the way they are. And I sincerely hope that they do. I'm hungry, says Simone. Well, have something to eat, darling. I'm absolutely starving, but then I've got some curry to come. Skick says Froch goes on about how he would have beaten Calzaghe. Not a chance. And I agree with you, Skick. I would have Calzaghe would have beaten Carl Froch in my book. Sophie and Neil are basically having a marital argument over Neil's underpants. No strength to break wind. Bloody hell, Sean. Oh, you really are poorly when you can't muster up the strength to release a nice vengeful fart. I'm genuinely sorry that you're feeling that pants. I mean, obviously there are various awful things going around. God knows whatever it was that I had knocked me properly all around the ring and hasn't entirely gone away. No, it hasn't entirely gone away. It's it's not like it was when it was in its full flow, but it still pops its head up every now and then. It did today. This afternoon, I had a bit of a headache and a bit of lightheaded and a bit of a sore throat. Only transitory, but hopefully, Sean, you will be recovered and back to your normal, charming and ebullient self very soon. Mind you, Sean, screw the loaf, man. Play the game. I mean, look at your audience. Now, unlike me, my audience is like 95% male. You look at Sean's audience, they're all women who dote on him, and they either fancy him or they want to mother him, depending on the age. You should play up to that, mate. Set the camera up while you're in your sick bed and just set the camera up at the bottom of the bed and do the full dying swan. Just say, I desperately need to fight off this terrible infection. Please send finest brandy, caviar to keep my strength up. I mean, you might as well play on it. Oh, God, they'd love you for that. You put a video up of you in your sick bed, all shaking and completely unable to break wind, although you might not want to mention that on your video. It might, I mean, you have quite a genteel viewer. It might upset them. But just do a 10-minute and, play on their sympathies. Just do the whole look, I'm terribly sorry. I'm not really well enough to make this film, but I feel guilty leaving you all and I miss you all so much. So despite the fact that I'm in a terrible state, I thought I'd just pop along and say hello. And they'll all send you brandy and pies and all sorts of wonderful things to aid your recovery. God, if I had a viewership like that, I bloody would. My luck, bless them. If I did that with my lot, they'd say, get your ass out of bed and go to work. God's sake, there's nothing wrong with you. Oh, has somebody done a nice thing? I've got a green. Oh, Mark has gifted a membership. How extremely kind of you, Mark. And good God, it's midnight on, well, I guess it's no longer St. David's Day. Welcome to the 2nd of March. And there are 33 of you watching. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your company. Where did we get to? Bad books. I lived in a shared student DOS house. Think Young One style. We got burgled and a broken window frame, but luckily we had nothing to thieve. Young One style. I like that. Blimey, Boaty, that could cause PTSD. Yeah, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing for us. You just get on with it. That's why I've never had therapy or anything like that. If I actually went into one of those situations where you actually had to unload all the stuff that's happened to you over your life, I'd be sectioned immediately. Oh dear. Just, it happened, you're still alive, put in a little box at the back of your mind and crack on. Oh dear. 20 quid a week, including all bills, says Bad Books. And that was a rip-off. Oh dear, oh dear. Dear. My first house, which I still live in, say, well, buddy, you still live in your first house. My first house, which I still live in, was like a slum for 2 years. Floorboards and my childhood bed. Moved in 1999 and it all needed a lot of work. Looked in the pantry, there was tinned food with the best before date of 1981. I should have known then, but it was cheap at 24 grand. Bloody hell, Barry. So the first place that you moved into, you bought, you flash rich sod. Oh, John, I'm sorry that things are so bad for you again, mate. Dear me, it's like one step forward and 3 steps back at the moment, isn't it? Oh, you know, we're all with you. Barry says, I lived in Derby, Nottinghamshire and Alfreton, but that's not a city. Oh, okay, we're doing the city thing. I lived in only one city, says Simone. What? No idea what that's about. Oh, Sean, good man. Great minds think alike. Sean says, I've already filmed it. It'll be out on Sunday morning. That's the ticket. That's the ticket. Oh, God, they'll be sending you. And you've got a post office box now, haven't you? They'll be sending you electric blankets and just narrow it down a bit. Just tell them that you need expensive alcohol, top of the range pies. Because let's face it, I mean, they say, chicken soup for the soul, but I find that when you're feeling under the weather, there's nothing like a really top class pie to lift your spirits and a little drop of a really good brandy or, or whatever your typical choice is, a nice single malt or something like that. Oh God, I can't wait to watch that video, and better still to watch the comments. There'll be half a continent clucking over Sean and giving him advice on how to. Oh dear. I mean, it's absolutely lovely to see. I'm only jealous. I wish that I had that. All I have are hairy ass men who take the piss out of me. I'd love to get a lovely female following like that that were all caring and wonderful. Now then, oh hello. Well, this is unexpected. Mark very kindly gifted a Boaty's World Channel membership, which was exceedingly kind of him. And guess who is the recipient? General Cheeseburger. Goodness gracious me. So, gosh, well, that's unexpected and possibly unwelcome. Sorry, Cheesy. I'm sorry you've got a channel membership. But Mark, that's really kind of you. Thank you very much indeed. We did similar, says Bad Books. Bought an ex-Crown cottage, cost a fortune to put right, and had to live in a caravan on the front lawn for 12 months. Dear, dear, dear. Oh, HW100 or HW Song or HW100 is here. Hi, Bodie. Hello to you. Bedtime, says Simone. I'm off to the garden centre in the morning. Ta-ta for now. Yes, they did, Ivor, indeed. In Mustard Live the other day, which I watched when I was in the bath, so I couldn't comment on it because my hands were wet. Smelly Hole mentioned that they were from Liverpool and knew Boaty well. Oh, there you are. You see, it's not just the women looking after Sean. Barry has sent Sean a little something from Missouri. And now that I know your post office address, Sean, I will do similarly. I will send you I will send you a little something when I think of a little. I know what I will send you, Sean. I will send you a book because I know that you are a literary man and you enjoy books. And I'm a literary man and I enjoy books. And we are both authors, no less. But don't worry, I won't send you something I've written. I'll send you something proper. What are you saying after the HW100? Oh, I'm just doing 100 in French and Italian. Right, darlings, it is time. All checks are gratefully received, says Sean. You're not getting a bloody check, matey. Well, actually, you could have a check off me because it would bounce higher than Tigger on the old marching powder. But no, I would like to send you a little something. So I will have a think of a book that I think that you won't have read but will enjoy, and I will send you that because home is where the books are. And, building the library is one of the most important aspects of the home, I think, or a kitchen thing, because obviously we're both into our kitchens. I'll think of something. And right, darlings, I'm so grateful for your company, and even though there are still 31 of you. Even though there are 31 of you still watching, I'm going to let you go. And just thank you so much for indulging me with this extra St. David's Day live stream. St. David's Day genuinely is incredibly important to me. And I was so keen to mark the occasion with you and to share it with you. And in some way to send you my wishes for spring and summer and just generally the year ahead. And let's, even though you wouldn't think so from the weather, then let's look on today as a bit of a turning stone and pat ourselves on the back. Obviously, those of you in America and Australia and various other places doesn't apply to you, but for those of us UK based, let's give ourselves a pat on the back for having survived another winter. And let's just start making plans for how we are going to enjoy the absolute raving arse out of the spring and summer ahead. I know I'm going to, and I've got lots of things to discuss with you, which we will do as normal, in the normal way, on the live streams, in the comments on the videos, on the Daily Diarist. Lots more to come. So that is it for tonight. And that is it from me, apart from videos, but in live streams, that's it from me until Monday Night Live. And I think I'm I'm doing it with other people on Monday, aren't I? Or that was the plan anyway. I just need to remember who the bloody hell I'm supposed to be doing it with. Monday, Monday will be a yard day, and Neil is going to be there as well, so that will be fun. And the weekend is just going to be the weekend, normal thing. That's it, darlings. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Jimmy. Yes. Yeah. Let's before we go, let's again wish. Well, we hope that Jimmy had a fabulous birthday, and given that it was now yesterday, then we can be the very first to wish him a very happy birthday for next year. No star, say Sean, and a very good night to all of you. So again, thank you for joining me, and please have a safe and peaceful night. Those of you who are poorly, John, Sean, may you feel much, much better soon. And everybody, have a safe and peaceful night. Stay warm. Take great care of yourselves. And let's all have the best day and the best weekend that we can. Much love from me. And I will catch up with you live Monday night, earlier time, 10 o'clock. All right, darlings. Thanks so much. I'm off to get my curry. But you, and indeed,